7:20 on TSN 690. Welcome back to Game Points. I'm your host, Matthew Ross. We're here till 8 o'clock tonight. It makes your blood boil. It gets you angry. It what makes you want to throw something, wring somebody's neck. All of the above. What is it? Well, it's the report from another network that, and it's really not something new. It's been bandied about now. We've spoken about it on this show. But it's compounded, obviously, with what happened yesterday/today with the Montreal Impact game. And that would be the Olympic Stadium. And the report that they're considering spending $400 million on the roof. I'm going to say it again, and then I'm going to pause for 3 or 4 seconds and let that sink in and let you think about that. There's a chance, probably a good chance, that more money will be spent on the Olympic Stadium and on that roof. $400 million of a chance. And it's enough to make you yell out loud. It's enough to make you punch a wall. It's enough to make you pick up the phone and call your local representative in politics. How in the world is this even possible? Well, it is. It is possible because people at the Olympic Stadium will tell you, well, there's no other choice. Otherwise, this venue is no good. We can't use it. Really? Good. Put an out-of-order sign on it, clear out of the offices, and leave it alone. Take $400 million and go buy a new stadium. Now, a stadium costs more than $400 million for baseball, etc. But good Lord, are you kidding me? I'm so worked up right now. I have to take my pulse. I got to take deep breaths. I got to figure out a way to deal with this, to chew on it, because it feels like somebody has just punched you in the gut when you hear that. So let me get this straight. We have no choice, and we're just going to throw more bad money down the drain. It's chasing your tail. It's throwing more bad money after bad money. It doesn't make any sense. At a certain point, you have to cut your losses, and you have to say, you know what? This piece of crap in a bad part of town that nobody wants to go to is not worth saving. It's not. Who's going there? What? We got to save the boat show once a year? We got to save the annual rave that somebody rents it out for? So there's an important universal dog show that has to take place there. This is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment, and it's pathetic. And if anybody authorizes money to be spent there, they shouldn't be in the position of authority that they're in. I can't even believe it. Stefano Michello has been looking into the history of these stories of more money being spent on the Olympic Stadium.
And this dates back 3 or 4 years now that they were considering spending this money, but the amount of tears in the roof have actually tripled over the past few years. So now in 2013, over 2,000 rips in the roof. So I think if it's that bad, like you said, just leave it alone and go get yourself a new stadium, because who knows, and maybe in another 10, 15 years you're going to be having the same problems because winters aren't getting any better here.
If you're gonna put some other kind of roof on there, you're gonna have the same. It wasn't built with a roof, so anything you put on there is temporary. It's not. You can't put some studs and come all the way down into the middle of the big O on the ground. So there's some serious issues here, obviously, with this structure, and the reports that it's going to cost $700 million just to demolish it because the metro runs underneath and you have to take it down piece by piece. I get that, but I don't think it's $700 million either. And there was a report in the Gazette recently saying the same thing, that maybe those estimates were over a little bit, that they were quick, rash, ones.
Over-tweaked.
Oh, man, it is absolutely unfathomable to think of people spending money on this awful venue in the middle of nowhere. You get out, there's no nightlife, there's nothing to do. You got to get back in the metro, take it downtown if you want to do something. It has just been the most embarrassing structure to do with this city since its inception. We know about the corruption. We know about all the construction overruns and how it's gotten to where it's gotten. But to even think of spending one more penny on this, obviously you're going to lose money from some revenues. You have some people to pay at the Olympic Stadium. But at the end of the day, can you look yourself, you at City Hall, whoever you are, or it's the Quebec government, can you look yourself in the mirror and say, this is worth doing? This is in the best interest of Montreal. You think about every other city, major city in North America. You think about, obviously, Toronto, the Rogers Centre. You think about Vancouver, who just got a brand new upgrades to BC Place.
Right. Well, that's downtown, though.
Yeah, it's downtown.
Big difference with that and the Big O.
Exactly. Winnipeg got a new stadium, obviously, for the Blue Bombers.
But that's on the University of Manitoba campus, which has already produced headaches for people in Winnipeg.
Yes, it's not logistically, it's not the greatest.
25 minutes away from downtown.
But the bottom line is cities are building things that help their infrastructure, that attract things. We've talked about this on this program before. A new baseball stadium downtown isn't just about baseball. You can have Just for Laughs shows there in the summer. Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, all these kinds of figures could sell out a venue like that. You can have concerts. I know that the whole multi-sport thing isn't ideal in this day and age, but at the end of the day, is it possible, Mo, that a team like the Alouettes could share a field turf type of deal with baseball?
No. NFL, Major League Baseball have strayed away from that. The only team that's still doing the multiple stadium thing is Oakland Raiders and A's, really. And I think they're trying to get away from that and just have it be specifically for football, for baseball, so on and so forth here. And I think for the city of Montreal, whether or not they will go through with this, a lot of money. And remember, this city and this province right now is on dire straits when it comes to the economics and whatnot here. So really, where's this money going to come from? And if it's going to come from the taxpayers, it might upset those people, and that might have a ripple effect on maybe baseball coming back to Montreal if an owner is going to say we want to get 45% of the money from the people of Quebec and City of Montreal to pay for the ball stadium out there.
Now, the proposal that you saw for the Montreal Baseball Project in conjunction with Ernst & Young, BCF, Montreal Board of Trade talked about some government funds, but saying that it would be repaid back within the first 8 years of a baseball franchise anchoring that stadium or a new stadium downtown. So it's a very interesting, angering situation. And obviously, if you're going to spend $400 million on something, you maybe want it to really sparkle and shine and be a shining example of your city, as opposed to putting some Band-Aids on basically an eyesore. I don't know. I'm trying to be radio correct in referring to the
Should I tweet Mayor Coderre with my question about this investment?
Hey, go for it.
I will do that right now.
I wouldn't hold your breath about getting a response, but it's never a bad thing.
Should I put Dave Darnay hashtag in the tweet?
And on that note, it is Game Points here on TSN 690. Interesting ending here in we have a great game going on in the NCAA tournament. North Carolina against Iowa State. North Carolina had a 4 or 5 point lead with about 3 minutes left. I looked at Mo. I said, boy, I needed Iowa State. And he said, you never know. These things aren't over. Right now it's 81-81, 50.9 seconds remaining. Tar Heels do have the ball, I believe. And Roy Williams, thank you very much. Former Kansas coach, now with UNC. Irate about something that just happened in this game, screaming on the sidelines. But we'll update you on that and so much more. Your update is next with Mr. Sean Coleman.